Before we start this week's podcast, we want to share with you some information that we at Necology 101 are very excited about. If you've been listening to the show for a while, you know Ron, our man in the chair, our podcast engineer. Well, we're proud to introduce his recording company, Wolf Moon Sound Production. If you want to get your podcast on the airwaves, you need some reliable service, excellent recording quality, and someone who can guide you through the whole podcast process. Check out Wolf Moon Sound Productions. With Ron as your man in the chair, you won't have to be in the dark about getting your podcast started. Let Wolf Moon Production shine a light on your subject at hand. And we've really enjoyed his service and hope you do too. Let us know if you do, and let him know that Necology 101 sent you. Thanks. Oh, and I think the bell is about to ring, so class is about to start.
Mr. Froto?
What, Sam?
What's the answer to this question?
Oh, Sam, I can't help you.
What is it attracts Nick anyway? It's nothing unnatural, is it?
Shh. Gentlemen, might I remind you that there be no cheating on this final exam, or you shall not pass!
Good morning, students. Welcome to school. Remember, the thought of the day is...
I came here to find safety. But one is never safe from the past.
Welcome to Necology 101. Study the nerd and geek in their natural habitat. I'm Gary.
It's Rudy.
John.
And we're the knights who say... Geek! I actually remembered. All right.
Aye.
All right, so last time... Well, we are jumping into another universe today.
Which
the
universe?
Star Trek universe. There you go, for everybody in the audience. You can see that.
T-R-E-K.
What's new in Star Trek?
Well, it's a lot new in Star Trek.
Go for it. Tell us.
Okay, so...
Okay, that was fun.
Yeah.
Episode's over.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening, commenting, and subscribing.
That's right.
You know
My
what's new.
You can find us on Podbean or Spotify or one of those other places.
One of those places. That's right.
All those youngins.
Yeah, that's right.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about Star Trek. Yes, Star Trek on CBS All Access has a number of things that are
How much does that cost a month, yo?
$5.99. Here's what I did though.
That's not bad considering there's
but it's
nothing
just
on
got Star
CBS.
Trek. I know. It's just got Star Trek.
I know. Well,
Well,
no,
there's
they,
Star Trek and Twilight Zone, and that's it.
Yeah, but who's
they
watching
have
the Twilight Zone?
Well, they have. Okay. Well, there's other stuff too, but
Like what?
on CBS All Access they have
CBS All
Star
Access.
Trek Discovery,
CBS All
which
Access.
has
CBS
2
All
seasons
Access.
now. Great show.
What is it?
Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, they got Young Sheldon.
Oh, there you go. You got that too. Okay.
Okay.
But then one of the things they have, and I
What
would
else
like
they
to episode this at some time, but they have Star Trek shorts, and what they're 10, 15
Is that
minutes.
what you wear when you're cycling?
That's right.
It's a remake. It's a remake for that old Nickelodeon show, Salute Your Shorts.
Fudge.
But they're great because they're little fillers between
I bet
the
there's a little
shows and the
filler.
episodes.
That's just a little filler right there. You are a white man.
And
Just little palate
thank
cleansers.
you. Wow. Anyways, so they're kind of fun because they tie in different behind the scenes things with characters, and they have. I'm going to do a little side here, but they made this one episode and it was animated, and what it was they've sort of followed the whole history of the entire Starship Enterprise from its. Don't take that apart. From the
We're reading it.
you're reading
So
it.
this is not intended for children's sleepwear.
Good.
It's our tablecloth cover.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to see you wearing this. Thank you very much. Anyways, so they have some fun building some of the backstory. Because actually, if you look at the Star Wars universe, Star Trek universe, the Star Wars universe is much more developed. There's a lot going on in it. So they have a big... not that Star Wars doesn't, because I know you guys often talk about Star Wars, but Star Trek has had...
He's pointing at the kids over here. who love Star Wars.
Star Trek is the same age as I am. So almost 54 years
57?
old. It came in September 1966, and I was born in March. So I'm a little bit older.
It's kind of like the people that still watch Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah, there you go. But it's had
Ranger.
it's had a long run of shows, and the newest one now is Star Trek Picard. So we had talked about this a month or so ago when it first came out, or is going to come out. So now the series is out.
So what happened? Tell us what happened.
Hold on. So before we get into this, what for someone who's not involved in Star Trek, what do they have to
know,
to watch or know before they get into
Not
Picard?
a damn thing.
I really, you think about it, it does a good job of kind of pulling you right into the universe. I think. Well, you know what? Okay, I tell you what helped you.
Can somebody come in just fresh off the boat?
Yes.
I think you probably need a little bit about Picard. If you know a little bit about him.
Oh, you mean with this series or Star
with
Trek
this
in
series,
general?
With this series,
Were you talking about Star Trek in general or the series?
the show.
Which one are you talking about?
Next
Rudy?
Generation.
Oh, with the Next Generation.
That's what he was in.
Yeah, that's
Right,
where he's
right.
from. He's not the. Cause we're not talking the Star Trek 1966 Captain Kirk. We're talking
Right.
the 1980s, 90s, whatever, with a whole run of Star Trek. So that Next Generation. If you're familiar with that,
The better show of any other the Star Trek.
what's the better one of all of them?
No, I'm telling you, Next Generation.
Oh, of all of them. Well,
Yeah.
Deep
I'm
Space Nine was
telling
pretty
you
good too.
fact.
What?
That was pretty good too. Deep Space Nine. It took a little bit to get going.
it took a while.
No.
I like all the series for different reasons.
No.
Anyways,
No.
that's
Captain Kirk was the bomb, bro.
okay. There you go.
Yeah,
All right.
for comedic reasons.
Yes, exactly. And it was really acting too.
It's just like saying, screw the Dark Knight movie, only watch the Batman
there
70s show.
you go, bro.
Okay, so good. I love it.
Screw Christian Bale. It's all about Adam West.
That's what. No, Adam West. I thought you were talking about what's his name, Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
The movies.
Oh, the original.
Those were
Batman
really
movie?
campy.
Those are more of sort of a bridge between.
You want to
the
get
older-
nuts?
Let's get nuts.
All right. Okay, let's pull you back. Let's go back to Star Trek.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, we're messing up your
Sorry,
Star Trek.
no, you do it all the time. I'm used to it. It's all right.
Tell me
that's
about
what-
Picard. Go.
Okay, so the thing about Kirk and
Okay,
Picard.
so we need to know a little bit more more of Captain Picard. We need to have a little bit of history of what happened in Next Generation.
I don't think you do because I never watched Next Generation.
that was kind of my question: is can I just come in there?
You
fresh?
could come in. I think you come in because they do give a lot of his backstory, and you realize he's had.
What is his backstory, Gary? I
In
think
this-
you told us before.
Yeah, in this story, what's happened is, and I will tell you, if you want to get a little taste of part of the story,
Oh, is it a little taste of one?
the J.J. Abrams movies, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. Okay, so this is where it kind of like there are two universes that broke off, and here's what happened. So in the Star Trek,
Here we go.
we have the prime. Okay, just we have the prime timeline, which is normal Star Trek, the stuff we grew up with, and then what happened was in the J.J. movie, what happened there was a planet called Romulus, and there was a star that went supernova. Romulans are the enemies of the Federation, which is all the good guys, right?
Just like the Klingons.
So what happened was Spock, who's another character from Star Trek, was older character. He was trying to help them, survive from this, and
Romulans?
he created a black hole. It caused a rift, and he passed through into the new universe, and it created a whole new timeline.
The past is written, but we are left to write the future.
A whole new event started,
Like chronologicity.
and so anyways, what happened was
So the new Star Trek movie is
It's-
a different timeline.
it's a different. It's called the Kelvin timeline. So those events were not supposed to happen. So what we're doing is we're coming back.
Was I not paying attention to?
You're not
those
paying
movies?
attention.
You shouldn't.
No. So that might help you because let me just.
Is that why there was two Spocks in that movie?
He came from the original.
Where are the whales?
That's in the night. That's the original 1966 Captain Kirk timeline.
Whales?
So up to Picard's time. Up to Picard's time. Nice. They're still happy in the original universe. So what happened was Spock was he got pulled into this new universe, and that's a whole new storyline right there.
Okay.
So we're coming back on this side. What actually happened?
Well, okay. So
everybody
like,
else
there's
on
only one movie that took us to a different universe.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, I have to explain.
Picard's over here,
Yeah.
yo.
So
There's
what-
aftermath.
so is
He's in
Picard-
aftermath because this is almost 20
I
years
don't
later.
like math. I just want to let you know. I
Right.
don't like it before
It's
or
aftermath.
aftermath.
So is the Picard series? What timeline is the Picard series?
It
you ever
is the
done-
original.
Have you
Original
done-
timeline.
Have you
What
done
was-
before math?
Huh?
Have you done before math?
He's going a whole
Don't
different.
do math.
All right. So what's happened is they tell us what actually happened in this event and what the consequences for everybody who's still here.
Picard.
Yeah, he has left.
There's ripples.
He has left.
Just like in his wine.
He is very okay. So when Captain Kirk, you're talking about, he kind of broke the rules.
I just
with
want to let
Federation.
you know, people, if you didn't know, that Picard has a winery. That's why we
Right.
keep making these wine references.
Chateau Picard.
Battle of the Tannins.
All right. So, where Kirk is, everyone loves him because he's
Swoosh, swoosh, spit.
he's the what do you call it? The cavalier, kind of just does his own thing.
Who, Picard?
Picard, no,
No, Kirk.
Picard
yeah,
is
that's what I
more.
loved about him.
Picard follows the book. He's very Federation. He's very to the rules. He does what's right, but he broke with Federation because they didn't do what was right in the situation.
We have an obligation to investigate.
There is no we, Jean-Luc.
Admiral, I am standing up for the Federation, for what it should still represent.
This is no longer your house, Jean-Luc. Go home.
Here's what happened.
So now he wants to make up his own rules about what's right and wrong.
What's happened is he's a character who's very straight on the button, doing what's right. And what happened was the Federation, when all this happened, and it was their enemies, the Romulans, he says, no, we should help our enemies.
Sure they're not frenemies?
They're enemies.
Okay.
But they've been trying, if you watch the last Star Trek movie, which is Star Trek, which is the one with Shinzon. Ron, you know this one. It's
I don't think you should say that word. This is a family.
Tom Hardy,
This
yeah.
is a family
That
show.
was Star Trek. It was Nemesis.
Your issues are with me, then deal with me. This has nothing to do with my ship. Nothing to do with the Federation.
Oh, but it does. We will no longer bow before anyone as slaves. Not the Romulans and not your mighty Federation.
I don't like that word Shinzon.
So, hey, I'm sorry.
Sounds horrible.
All right.
It's like go take a big shins on.
Nah.
Bullshins on.
In the end of that movie, the Romulans were broken people, and so they were beginning to start like reaching out their enemies, like they did the Klingons years before. So what happened? It's another movie. Anyways, so it's like the Federation. Their whole goal is to make peace with their enemies, right? That's what they want to do, and explore and whatever.
Don't mess with the Lins. The Klingons. No, that didn't work. Never mind.
You were close. You were trying.
Mess with the shins in this.
That's anyway. So what happened was the Federation had an opportunity to really turn things around, help the Romulans out.
Shouldn't.
And Captain Picard says, "We're going to do this, mount this whole thing."
Wrong.
And they went part way, and then I'm not going to say the word because you're going to go somewhere else. But they
What was the word?
pull
I need
out.
it.
You're going to say something bad about that. I'm not going to even give you that one. Anyway, so they decided to.
Gentlemen never rely on that.
That's right. They turned.
See you later, everybody.
They turned and decided not to
no
help
longer
them
a family
because at the same time, it's a family show. It is a
Okay.
family show. That's why I'm
Just
G for
saying.
the governor. Anyways, at the same time, what happened was, and this gets a little complicated.
I could take that a lot of different
it's
places, and I
already
stopped
complicated.
right
So-
there.
At the same time, when they're trying to mount this,
I want to know when Sideways is going to meet Picard. That's what's important to
I'm
me.
getting there. So you got to get
The
it.
movie Sideways?
Yes.
You already talked about this
one.
last time. These boys.
I
Anyways,
get it.
when it gets really bad, I'm pulling that one out right there. There's a red lightsaber with your name on it. Anyways,
Listen, Father, please.
so start losing appendages.
That's Darth Maul's lightsaber.
Yes. Anyways, he didn't need it anyways, so it's gone. So anyways, if you saw the other movie. So anyways, what happened was at the same time that they were mounting all this rescue mission on the planet Mars, right? That's where Starfleet has their Utopia plant. They build their ships there. Okay. I don't know if you know who Data is.
Yes, I know who Data is.
You know Data
Come
is.
on,
Well,
bro.
what they've been doing in the past few years is designing more of him, but they're different. They're developed, they call synthetics. Okay, so it's synthetic humans. So they've been designing these whole synthetic humans, and they serve in all kinds of places, right?
It's like the androids from Alien.
Yeah,
Cut off
Yeah.
the heads, just spewing milk everywhere.
yeah. These are a little different. And what happened was something happened, and
Was that something?
they revolted. They turned on, and they
I knew
basically
they were going to bring in the Terminator. I just knew it.
they
Skynet's
When do we
back,
ever
dang it.
learn with AIs?
We don't.
It's like dinosaurs. It just keeps coming back.
Yeah,
and
Data was
going
he
wrong.
was one of a kind though. So what happened was they lost it. They whatever they still don't know exactly because they haven't told us. All I know is that they either mounted a coup or whatever, but they basically Mars is now on fire and they destroyed all their shipyards and it's still burning to this day.
Oh, wow.
And they they have a ban on synthetics.
Mars is red for a totally different reason.
Yes, and so what happened is Picard, because of all this, he says,
It's like the blue oyster on fire.
yeah, he
Gotta
said
save the koalas.
the Federation no longer. He says Federation is no longer the Federation, so he walked away from it. And then what is he went to?
What? Okay, what is that? What is that? What?
So he knew
Because
that he knew
You went
that they
from,
were
like, he was
using
gonna
data
help-
as a backbone for.
Right. So they said because,
Wait a second. Hold on. Stop. They were going to help the Romulans, then they didn't. Now Data is the reason why. he
because
doesn't like
because
the
of
Federation?
Mars attack, they pulled all their ships and they went
Have you
to.
seen that movie, Mars Attacks?
Yes.
Okay.
They pulled all the ships from the rescue mission to protect themselves, and the Romulans, a lot of them died, and they.
Self-preservation. What is he all bent out of shape,
Well,
Grandpa?
that's because hey, you're not Picard, so there you go. So he basically walked away from
He's like,
Federation.
forget this. I'm going to my winery.
There you go. Well, which is what he didn't want to do. He didn't want it. He loves space. He loves being out there.
You really want to go back out into the cold?
More than ever.
So he didn't want to have to
like
walk
space.
away, give it up, and then take his family's run his family's thing. So it's 14 years later. He's got his happy life. And then they also start. But he's he's making buck, right? So
Is he making a buck?
Yeah, he's
I thought he was on
he's
a
living
fixed
pretty
income.
good. But what happens is he
Talk to us.
there's a female that shows up and she says, "You're the only one that can help me."
That's right.
And what happened is we
I wish
find out
females
that
would do
she
that with
is.
me too, but they don't.
I totally missed that comment. She knows that Picard's the only person who can help him, and what come to find out, she's Data's daughter.
Oh,
But
Lord.
if
How
he's-
does AI make babies?
That's the
Hold
thing.
on, but if he's the backbone for all these new
Data
droids or-
babies.
yeah,
They're gonna tell you how
aren't
they
they
happen.
all the children of Data?
Well, there are synthetics that are made, and then there's some that are made with his positronic brain,
Right.
and that's what happened is they made two. There's two girls.
So
They make them pairs. They said what happened was if they could have at least one molecule of his positronic brain, they can actually build another one from that.
Like
So
with a 3D printer or something?
something like that. So and what happened was this girl named Daj, basically
What's her name?
Daj, but she would never ever tell that
another
she's
name generator.
Yeah, come to find out,
What's your
Data
synthetic name?
knew about her, so he knew that there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes that nobody knew about. But you would never ever tell that she was. She doesn't look like a
Dodge?
No, she doesn't look like.
What does she look like? A
She
Sarah?
looks normal. No, she looks like a normal human being. She has normal everything, right?
Oh, okay.
And so,
Well, yeah,
but-
you save money on the budget. Just
Yeah,
making
no.
her look like a human being,
right. And she doesn't know she is either. She has memories. So she has feelings. So she doesn't know that she is till she gets activated. Now she knows she's not human. And so what happens is Picard begins to realize he's starting to put the piece together and realize he's got to find out what happened to her. Well, she gets killed by the Romulans. And so
now
he's-
does he want to help the Romulans?
Now
I
he
bet
wants-
he doesn't.
Now he wants to help find the sister because the sister is the other half of the sister.
I have a plan.
Another top secret, unauthorized rescue mission.
There's a whole mystery.
Why
these
did the
guys solve.
Romulans kill her? I
This-
thought they were
the
like the new and improved Romulans.
There are Romulan has many factions. They have the Tal Shiar, which is like their what do the Russians have? Their secret police, the
KGB.
Spetsnaz.
They're like their KGB.
No,
And so,
the Spetsnaz.
okay,
The
Spetsnaz.
gulag.
Anyways,
Isn't
so
it
there's
the
It's like a prison, dude.
so there's everyday Romulans. There's the government and most Romulans
Listing
are very
random
secretive.
Russian things.
Very and
Say
so
random Russian things.
what's interesting about this is if you watched
Do they talk like this?
right now if they Star
don't?
Trek no it's Saudi.
Drinking
Saudi
I
coming
didn't mean
in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. They really got into developing the Klingon culture because we didn't know what it was like. In this series,
Did we need to?
Oh, it's interesting. You learn all
Well,
about
you just
Worf.
had a little bit of Worf,
Gak.
right?
Well, they had a lot of stuff. They had a lot of you learn about Gak and learned all the things they love and whatever, right?
What do they love?
All kinds of, well, Gak is their little
Jazz.
right.
I love jazz.
And there's
That's-
so many types of jazz out there.
Right,
Jazz
exactly.
and wine.
That's
the
what
two
created
big
so many
things of the Star
factions of
Trek universe.
Klingons.
So now it's like, well, one of the things about Star Trek they do
And
is
jazz and wine go so well together.
right. They base a lot of these alien cultures after ones we have today. Like the Vulcans are very Asian, like right, and the from Deep Space Nine they had the group that were
Italians?
like
They have the Italians?
no, they had the German. They had the whole thing with the German and Jews. The whole thing with the not Cardassians. I always Cardassians.
Yeah.
The
They're like the Germans and the Jews.
right. Cardassians and the
There are aliens.
so
Yes, they are.
So the
Kim Kardashian, and I'm so talented.
You're doing great,
so
baby.
talents.
You're doing wonderful.
So the Romulans, we are now in this series. Obviously, they're helping us understand their culture, which they haven't talked about Star Trek before. So it's kind of
this is it's an explosion of the Romulan culture,
right? Because it was like it's like when Russia was very, we didn't know a lot of Russia, Ukraine. When all opened up, we go, hey, here's what the Russian culture's like.
Russia.
So this is like you could say in a lot of ways.
Yes,
this is like
vodka. Did you know that?
Is that the ice cream man?
Like vodka.
Could be.
Was that? Yeah, that did sound like the ice cream man.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Nah, you're done.
It's no ice.
It's so like
That's
just like
even better.
Yeah,
in some ways, like some of the Middle Eastern cultures that we don't know about that we're finding out about more about, like Iraq, very secretive, a lot of espionage going on. That's sort of what the Romulans are like in some ways. Cultures we don't know a lot about.
The ultimate spy movie.
So that's what they are. So we find out about them is they do not like technology. They actually don't like. The only reason they've
Also,
done
like old people.
Yeah, so they are very fearful of synthetics.
It's like that group
robotics.
in Black Panther that didn't like the technology
That's
that
it.
the other continents were
The
doing.
only reason that they've done technology is because they're keeping control of their society. But if they didn't have to, they wouldn't use it. So we found out that they are afraid of anything synthetic, robotic, whatever. So they're trying to annihilate and
I'm
wipe
kind
out.
of afraid of that too.
And they have discovered the artifact. And what the artifact is,
that sounds
it's
interesting.
full of a lot of technology that they're exploring. They're using. It's a Borg cube. So they're basically trying.
Is that like a bouillon cube?
They are, much more lethal. But they are de-assimilating. Do you know what the Borg are?
Yes, I know what the Borg are. It's
What
a
are they?
wine. It's Picard's favorite wine.
This episode is brought to you by Chateau Picard.
Right. Resistance
We got
is fruitile.
reds, whites,
So the
nutty, fruity, all kinds of stuff
so-
going on here.
This
Borg
episode is brought to you by Charmin toilet paper. If you got Klingons near Uranus, Charmin's right for you.
Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, sir.
Deep Space Nine, I'm cleaning it.
How did I know that one was coming? All right.
Shins in right out of there.
That's right, shins in.
Just waiting for that
let
Charmin money.
Yeah, don't let the shins into Uranus.
All right.
It's going great, Gary.
Anyways, yes, we're wonderful. Anyways, live long and prosper. Anyways,
Nanu.
so what's happened is the Borg are the lethal enemy of the whole universe.
Yes,
pretty much
the whole universe. But didn't they find somebody who could whoop the Borg?
Yes. Yeah, that's a whole different thing. So
Nanu.
There's a Borg cube that they found, and Dodge's sister is part of that. So somehow
But Dodge is dead.
Yeah, but she hasn't. They make him in pairs.
Dodge, we call him Sarah.
Her name is Soji. Is that her name?
What?
Yeah. So
Dodge and Soji?
yeah.
Shouldn't it be like Dingle and Dodge or like the double D's?
I
That's
didn't
how
name
twins
them.
are
Very,
supposed to
very
be.
Swedish.
Yes. So
This one brought to you by Double Mint Gum.
the idea here is that Picard is now having to solve a mystery, not work with Federation. He's doing he's actually hired, which we'll go on later once the season's
No,
over.
let's just keep going.
He's hired people who have been burned from Starfleet or left Starfleet. The captain of the ship, which they haven't landed the ship yet. I think it's called the La Serena. Nothing like an Enterprise. It's nothing like the Enterprise.
Doesn't sound like the Enterprise.
No, it looks more like a giant shuttle is what it is. But that captain was, he's walked away from Starfleet. He's more like a mercenary because he lost his captain and he just doesn't want to have another captain to have to bury. So
or listen to either.
right, exactly. And then he's also gotten another Starfleet officer who walked away from Starfleet. At the same time he got fired, they fired her too. He said, if you aren't going to do it, I'll walk away. And they let him go. And they let her go too.
They had no reason to sabotage their own rescue.
What do you think happens when there's a cover-up? They conceal it.
That's why I need your help. I need your mind, your ability to see things others don't see.
So she has got a grudge against him, but she's a very smart computer
Grudge
person.
against who?
Picard, because he basically, her life kind of fell apart because she was working with him when all that stuff came down.
Oh.
And then there's some other characters that they pulled in that are from his past. And here's what's interesting.
Riker?
Not yet, but they are bringing in characters from Data.
Geordi?
No, but they're looking at bringing in more characters.
The doctor lady?
No, but they might bring them. They might bring them in. The only people that have come from the original series have been.
I can tell you know the characters. The doctor lady, beard guy,
Ripple head,
right?
The guy with the cool glasses,
Ray-Ban
part
guy?
of Devo.
Mm-hmm.
The small guy.
But
I know Star Trek.
It's my favorite show.
So the thing about with Patrick Stewart is he's definitely an older character, and he's not the same Captain Picard. He's aged. He's supposed to.
Well,
now,
if it's 14 years later, yes, he is older.
Yeah,
that's how the time works.
Yeah, he's supposed to. He's actually in his 70s
So
in real life.
Is he going to be
supposed to be in his 90s in this one, and as Captain Picard.
Is he going to be like his version of Professor X that is just completely useless?
No.
Or am I going to see Captain Picard be Captain Picard?
Yeah, he is himself.
He's still an able body.
Yeah, and what you find out about him is he's
swirling wine.
He doesn't. And when he wants something done,
does it while standing.
He gets done, and
Yeah,
that's one of the things that some people accuse him of being very arrogant because like this has to be done. This is what needs to be done, right? He does his whole.
Do it
whatever.
again, Gary. Go do that again. Go.
Captain Picard.
You do Picard.
I sound more like
Yeah, I know. Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
But
make it so. Of course, he does say that at one point.
Oi,
too.
mate.
That's a good one.
But
It's a
here's
very good
something.
Scottish accent.
Now, I will tell you, one of the things I also study, and DC would appreciate this one, is intros and titles to movies because they give a lot away. Sometimes.
Did you introduce the audience, all 20 people, to DC?
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, we'll do it.
You want to do it right now?
Well, yes, they don't know who DC is.
Oh, okay.
You just pointed at something like nothing.
We don't have
He's over
YouTube.
there.
He didn't want me on the show, but I'll tell you. So we do have some folks with us today. Hayden's hanging in. You guys remember Hayden? He's been with us a few times.
Hayden's been talking, yes.
Yes. And Ron's back. He's back in his chair. Hey, Ron, what's up? He actually watched Picard with me, too. And then his son, Noah's back there yet. And a good friend of mine, DC, we worked together at Valverde High School. And this guy's an awesome video guy and a good creative friend of mine. So he came to check us out because we are looking at expanding our universe too. So
I'll go back.
And he gets to see how this craziness comes together.
Got kicked by a horse.
Nice. So
they call me cheese because I'm shredded.
Right. Okay, thank you for that Instagram moment. Where are we going?
Nobody calls you cheese.
No, they don't.
Stinky cheese, maybe. All
Cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz. So one of the things that Star Trek has been, well, actually, what they started with Star Trek Discovery was in the opening titles.
Can we get to the wine? When are we gonna do the wine?
Yeah. In the opening titles, they give you elements of what the show has in it. So they're dropping in. Let me give an example. Star Trek Discovery. So they're bringing in, like when a new element of the show comes in, like they have the time traveler, they put them into the opening credits. So I'm going, you know what? They're doing this with Star Trek Picard. So I'm going to kind of explain what the opening credits are.
Do you know what the time traveler is?
There's time travel?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Anyways, these boys. Anyway.
Doc, we just got back.
All right. So
come on, Marty.
In the opening,
that concerns your kids too, Marty.
In the opening credits, they have his winery, right? And so they show that, and the music is actually very like.
Give it to me, jazzy.
It's very sentimental.
Yeah, jazzy.
Yeah, and so what happened is they show the vineyard,
jazz.
and then they go below. It's very symbolic. They go below the ground, and under the ground you see the Borg.
Is this true, Ron? Did you see this?
Yes.
I want another.
And so there's this Borg connection because if you do not know Borg or start.
Borg.
Picard was assimilated, and basically they destroyed his life.
And he made a wine out of it.
And he's still right. They bring that pain back too because after all these years, he's still suffering. It's almost like going through he's a trauma.
Yeah, but it's kind of messed up.
He's messed up
because they took the Borg and made almost a museum out of it, and they're dissecting whatever Borgs were left, pulling all kinds of stuff.
Oh, that's a different group though. That's that one. Well, there's another group that's doing it very. That's the scene you saw where they were doing it. There's people are taking advantage of the Borg because there's technology in there.
Yeah.
And because if you know anything about the Borg,
I do.
What they do, what do they do with cultures?
They simulate.
So they have a wealth
Did
of.
I say that right? Assimilate.
Assimilate, which is
not
futile.
simulate.
Right. Assimilate.
Assimilate.
Yeah. They assimilate they take you in, they absorb you in, but then.
They absorb you?
They
or
absorb you.
Thank you.
and their fees are exorbitant. Anyways,
Yes, I like that.
They take your life. So basically, they've gave with all the cultures that they've taken in, they have a lot of technology is very valuable. Everybody wants it, and now they have broken Borg ship. Who would want to? They want to pick it clean.
Of course.
That's what they're doing. And there's other
It's like
people
I do
we
with
find
my
out
nose.
later in another episode with 7 of 9, is that they will they'll take it right out of you,
bet
anesthesia
they will.
or not. So they find out, because
They'll
it's
pull it right out.
They'll pull it
Yeah,
right out,
I'm telling
eyeballs
you.
and eyes. Yeah,
No,
they
you
don't
don't
mess
want
around.
that.
But so this whole opening credit, there's a lot of things that they're alluding to, and I've been studying each time I watch it. Going, I get a little more of the episode. I watch the credits now, the opening credits, because I'm like, they're telling me something here.
What are they telling you?
They're telling you that there's
Tell
a.
you.
They're,
What are they telling
they're
you?
telling me to pay attention, because what happens is they show a in the Star Trek Nemesis, they made a clone of Captain Picard. The Romulans did.
What?
Right?
How
and
is
that's
that?
because they said all they needed was a hair follicle or a skin sample.
Ooh, that's scary.
So in this whole thing, you're watching this little skin sample fall down. And I think what they're telling you is somehow he's involved in this whole thing. So it's very subtle. If you're not, you have to pay attention. And this whole
If
little
he's 90 and he's running around, that's not the real Picard.
well, here's what they have. That well, see, I wonder about something, because that little piece is coming from now. If I remember about wine, there's something about wine that's there's a DNA aspect to it. Yes. So it's all the DNA. So they're showing the wine, they're showing the Borg, and then and then they're also
Borg
showing
drinking the wine.
Borg drinking Borg wine.
Assimilation is fruit. Anyways, no, they show
Cabernet Sauvignon.
I
They
think
had
that's
mentioned-
Sabernon. Thank you, Cabernet. Thank you.
Sauvignon Blanc.
So they had mentioned that.
That's a white cabinet.
Oh my gosh, I'm focused. Thank you.
I know.
people.
I'm sorry.
Anyways, no, I'm in
Lord,
there.
give me focus. Give me strength.
The train's off the tracks and they're picking through the pieces.
All right. Anyways, back in tracks,
guys
people.
are
So
viewing
they had
Shinzen
mentioned that
everywhere.
they had mentioned that Data's DNA, if they can get one molecule of his positronic, so they show that element too. So what they're showing you is all this somehow is mixed into the story, and then they show this DNA grow. And one of the
That's
things
what
that they
they're making the
had
wine
was
from, huh?
Picard's eye, because he was Locutus of Borg, right?
He was what?
Locutus of Borg.
Did you say that in English?
Yeah.
Come on, it's French. He was assimilated,
he was-
and he became the leader of the Borg for a short time.
Right.
And so, but that's still in the collective
I don't want to hear
mindset.
that. Don't ever say that word again.
So what I think what they're alluding to, and then at the end they show Mars breaking up, and they show that little piece of DNA coming back to him. I don't know what they're telling me.
I know what they're
somehow
telling you.
it's all connected. His
Yes.
story, their story, the so
What
I have a
are
feeling
the
that
voices?
I have a feeling there's a lot
Story,
more in there.
Thomas Hayden Church's going to come out.
Right. So in a lot of ways,
We're coming back to Sideways.
Got to.
his broken life is becoming kind of it's like a new start.
What's the other guy's name? The Italian?
Yeah.
Giovanni.
Yeah. Forget
You
about
still
it.
gotta put up with.
Forget about it.
Forget about
Anyways,
Wish they were-
sorry,
wish they were
sorry,
both
live
in the-
YouTube
in
people.
the
This is you should hear this guy.
It's not YouTube.
You
It's
see? You
Instagram.
sound-
Oh, Instagram,
it. Yank
Instagram
Rudy
people.
over here.
So, the whole thing about Star Trek Picard, and I didn't go into a lot more. No, they are bringing in a lot of the characters slowly, but what they're taking from The Mandalorian is they are dropping it every Thursday, which is nice. So every Thursday, a new episode's coming out, and it's been great. So they are in episode starting 5, I think. There's going to be 8. But
So what's happened up to this point?
I'm not going to tell you that because I wait till season 1's over.
So
Why?
yeah, we'll
Because
wrap
there's
it
a
up at the
lot.
end.
There's a lot.
So to kind of wrap up this whole thing, so
He's on a mission now.
how do you feel kind of where the
Oh, gosh.
where the series has gone and how it's projected and go?
Oh, I think it's great.
You do?
Yeah, how's the writing? How's the actual
Writing's
series?
great, acting's good. A lot of Ron had mentioned there's an episode with 7 of 9, who's from the original.
Tell us about her.
She's a ranger.
Yeah, she's a ranger. So a lot
Like
of
Aragorn?
She's not the sweet.
oh, she's not. Well, she never was sweet.
No, but
But she was
she's got her
easy on the
humanity.
eye.
She's got an
Yes,
edge.
that's
She's got her humanity back.
She got her humanity back, but she's like
She was like a fine wine.
yeah. You piss her
She
off,
is.
and you're dead.
Is she like a fine wine?
Drop your weapons.
Listen to her.
Now! Take Maddox and go.
What do you mean?
She means to kill me.
Oh,
She got better with it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
What's
we'll
her
talk
name?
about
Jerry Bruckheimer or whatever. her
Jerry
name is?
Ryan.
Yeah,
Jerry
I
Ryan.
dig that.
Yeah, she gets more beautiful with age. She definitely does. But yeah, so it brings in a lot of Picard's past with the Borg. His
does?
trauma, his regrets. They do a lot of flashbacks
There's a
in there
wine
too.
for everything in Star Trek.
So,
It's a Moscato.
right, these guys are their wine.
She's got a Scotty wine.
Got a bunch of whiners around here. Anyways,
Riker wine.
right, but they are going to. They're
Doing great, Gary.
They're slowly introducing some of the backstory of Star Trek. What's happened?
Backstory. It's like 50 years. It's been around for 50
No, not
years.
that. No, they go back 14 years to some of the stuff
okay,
that led up to Picard.
Okay.
And yeah, you already lost me when my mind was blown about the whole different.
That whole thing.
Realities, yeah.
Well,
I've been lost this whole time. Like,
That's because you're still in the Star Wars universe. That's why, huh?
you don't really have to. I mean, you could just jump. I mean, if you know a little bit about who Patrick Stewart is. Patrick Stewart.
Here's what I'm going to do, and here's my promise to you.
Okay,
Gary.
there you go.
So, as the outsider, I'm gonna use the CBS Access that you had graciously given to me.
Right.
I'm going to watch the Picard series without having any type of refreshers or anything like that. So once the series is done, we'll come back and we'll have
we'll be on the same page.
Well, yeah, we'll have your perspective.
We'll have intelligent conversation
and all the history.
Not like what's happening right now.
All the history that you have with Star Trek, and then me coming in fresh off the boat. And,
sounds good.
And see how the series plays out on both ways.
That
good.
Sounds awesome.
Because that's what we.
Black Panther.
The whole time I'm just going to be wine drunk.
Nah,
so
I'm bored wine.
Hey, when we come back to that episode, we just drink?
Drink
wine?
Yeah.
No, we're going to drink
Oh
some
yeah,
wine
we got some
come back.
underage kids here. Sure, that's a great
Makes
example.
you guys nippy.
They don't need to know.
Because that's kind of the thing that we talked about of what made the Mandalorian so good is that it brought people that weren't either that interested or that well known to the Star Wars universe got hooked onto that particular piece of the universe.
Right.
So I'm more curious if Picard does the same thing.
I don't know.
I think that's kind of a
no.
You gotta know a little bit about him. I
Good
think
characters, though.
Very good characters. It's very good characters development.
A good supporting group of guys.
And
well, yeah. I mean, there's stuff that feeds the Star Trek fans.
If you like the Next Gen and all that,
no.
then
I like
you
the
go
Next
back,
Generation.
I thought you did.
No.
Then you go back and you see Riker and his wife.
Remember, he's Clint
tossing
Eastwood. He doesn't like anything
Get off
new.
my lawn, you mongs. I love that old man.
I love that side.
It's just Nazar. My word is right. That's what these guys get.
You guys should do Witcher.
But you know what, too? You could give it a shot and see what you think. I mean, I think it does have. I think you probably could going in if you look at it for just an adventure story and look at it as a backstory of a guy who's got regrets. There's your.
Well, I told you that. I told you when they did that. What was it? Was it Nemesis? The movie?
Which one?
With the Borg when they
that's First Contact.
First Contact. That was like I had friends who
Stood
never
by
watched.
itself.
Well, they never watched Star Trek. They hated Star Trek. We went and saw it because there was nothing else to watch, and they loved it. It was like it drew them in. So I think you got to have something.
Yeah.
Similar. I mean, it was a really good story and it had a lot of action.
Something to bring you in.
Yeah.
Though I tell you, when I think about it, they did have this.
They don't have Baby Yoda.
They do have. Yeah. They do have.
Gotta get Baby Borg.
You might be able to just come in because
no one
they do
says
give
Baby Borgs are cute.
Oh yeah, they do give they do give some backstory. He does an interview with because it's like anniversary of the whole disaster, like 20 years later, and they interview him. And a group who the news are. They interview Picard.
Oh.
He was hailed as one of our galaxy's most intrepid explorers, a skilled diplomat, military strategist, humanitarian, and author of many widely praised works of historical analysis. He joins us on the anniversary of the Romulan supernova to discuss his role in those tragic events. I have the rare honor of introducing Admiral Jean-Luc Picard.
Retired.
You've never agreed to an interview before, so thank you for inviting the galaxy into your study.
Okay.
And so you do get a lot of
Is he drinking his wine?
No, he's not drinking his wine. Probably everybody else is. But
he listed him.
He does give you. They give you a lot of backstory. So I mean, you aren't lost. You aren't lost if that helps you. And they do explain characters.
It's not like Lost in Space.
No, and
or the series Lost.
Yeah, I was about to say, or like Lost.
What's really good is there's a lot of newer characters, and they ask questions like, "Hey, isn't this person? Where did this come from? How come Picard does this? Isn't 7 and 9 a Borg?" So they play the audience.
Did you say doo-doo?
They play the audience.
They do all the dude things you do so well.
They do all the shins in.
All right.
You stop talking about that word. That's a horrible word. You're just a young man. Don't use that word, son. Talk about that shins on.
They do use the characters
That's a sequel to Shin Yu.
Yeah.
Shin Yu.
Right. They do use the characters as the voice of the audience that don't know a lot about the Star Trek past. So that's a good tool they're using.
With the news?
The newer characters are asking questions. And they between themselves, hey, is that whatever? Is this supposed to happen? Picard did this kind of stuff. So they are looking at that aspect of trying to tie in new people, new audience.
Is there any cool flashbacks or anything like that?
New flashbacks of just what's happened to him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
scene. Like, are they replaying scenes from like Next Generation?
Oh, they did. The very first scene starts off with they're playing the song "Blue Skies." You know that from Nemesis, right? Was that Nemesis? Yeah, that is. Where Data was singing "Blue Sky" at Riker's wedding. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I think you talked about.
So they're playing this song. They're showing beautiful pictures. It reminds me of WALL-E at the beginning of WALL-E when they're showing the whole thing with the universe. And then you see the Enterprise D, and Picard is playing cards with Data. So he's having a flashback, and it's actually really good because they really tie in. So they have a few flashbacks with Data. We're not too sure if they're dreams or flashbacks. So that's kind of how they pulled you in the beginning.
Would you like to finish it, Captain? I don't know how. That is not true, sir.
And the very first episode gives you a lot of information to get you started.
It shows him very vulnerable.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's an older man now too.
He's older. It's a totally different type of.
He's still very Picard. He's just not. Yeah, he just has a different way of getting things done. He knows to draw on other people's strengths. And you're a sword fighter. I'm an old man. You're a young man. You're gonna even be my strength.
You just point at me. I like that.
Yeah.
And he's got a bodyguard guy that's hanging around.
I need your skill and your courage.
Oh, his bodyguards are Romulan. They used to be Romulan Tal Shiar. So he's made friends with. So he's got friends from everywhere.
Is that Federation issued bodyguards?
Nope.
No.
Because he's a private person now.
They're like
he and the Federation are not. They're in bad
So he's
terms.
a private
He's
citizen.
funded
He's
by
a private
his wine. He doesn't need the Federation anymore.
Nope. And he has made a lot of enemies on Federation because he walked away from them. So there's a lot of. So it's a good man in a bad situation, and he's trying to make the best of a bad situation, and and he's having to live with his past, his choices, and the things that he's done, and the choices he made. And he's owning up to them. Oh. So there's a lot in there. Especially there's a lot more older characters that are coming back into movies. We saw that with Indiana Jones and a lot of other people that are coming back. And I think this is a good...
because Picard...
They're making a new Indiana Jones. He brought some
diplomacy to the Federation. When he left, all bets were off.
It all went down.
They just did what they want.
And the Federation
People blamed him for that.
Well,
so he was like the piece that kept everything together.
Yeah.
Well, and without blowing too much, in Star Trek Discovery, we do know the future of the Federation is not good. Because they're not making the best choices.
People hate it.
Federation goes downhill, and it's because people making bad choices. So we don't know if they'll come back, but they jump you ahead about 1,000 years. So you kind of see
he doesn't believe in the Federation anymore.
Well,
as it sits right now.
As it's because it's not. He says they're not the Federation I know. So things have changed. But he's still got that constant trying to do the right thing. So he's sort of like you get to see the underside of the universe. Yeah, there's a place they go to called Free Cloud, which is like their version of Vegas. I'll talk about that next time. So
there's always a Vegas.
Yes, but it's pretty interesting. So if you have not seen Picard and you do have CBS All Access, I do. Sorry, John, but I will share it with you. But don't. Okay. You know, but let's make that public, huh? Who else wants CBS All? Yeah, Regent. But no, I'm not.
All 20 of you,
right? Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a great show. We'll 19, play it out.
18.
They're disappearing. Nice. Gary. All right.
Back to 20. Oh, no.
This was a great episode.
Oh, I hope so. We entertained the group, and hopefully we kept it somewhat clean. Ooh, that was a good... It's your toilet paper stuff. Anyways, all things work out in the end, right? All right. So, well, thank you guys. I hope that you enjoy visiting Star Trek Picard, and we'll see what comes next time. So next time we'll talk about the whole season and wrap it up, and we'll go more into detail. All right? I'm still Gary.
Still Rudy.
Still John.
And class is dismissed.
You feel that you don't have a past anymore.
Because I don't.
Oh, that's not true. You have a past. You have a story. Just waiting to be claimed.
You're talking about Data.
Among other things, yes. Thank you for not trying to talk me out of all this.
Believe me, I know better.
Thanks for listening to Necology 101.
Thanks, everybody.
If you like what you hear, hit that subscribe button and stay up to date with what's new in the fandom universe. You can find Necology 101 on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts. We love to hear from our fans, and your input helps make this show possible. Find us on Facebook and Instagram at God Among Geeks, or you can contact us at necology101class@gmail.com.
Technology.
We know you have a lot of fandom choices out there, so thanks for including us in your universe. Because we are the knights who still say, Nick!